Well, hello, glue troopers, and welcome back to the Tarbis. It still blows me away that I can be here in my little 12 by 12 Tarbis in the backyard of my house doing these videos and connecting with folks around the globe. I mean, we live in the future. So, just wrapping up for the day. Didn't get any building done because we had other things going on, but I did get things done. One of which was I finished the book Baa Baa Black Sheep, which I can highly recommend. This book was printed, I think, in '57. It's about Greg Boeington. And, you know, the TV show never did him justice, or did the Squadron justice. And actually, the television show was basically one big falsehood. Although, there were some real characters. There was a General Moore, there was a Colonel Lard, even had a pilot named Casey, and they were, at one point, VMF 214. But the book is very interesting. First couple hundred pages about him as a flying tiger and as a fighting Marine, and then the next 100-odd pages are about him as a POW, and the last 50 or so about him after the war. And the man had his demons, but to his credit, he owns them. And the biggest one, of course, as many of us know, was alcohol. And he doesn't hide from it. To his credit, he wears on his sleeve and takes the head-on blame for his faults and his shortcomings. So give him credit for that. But it's still an interesting read. What I found particularly interesting about the man was after the war, he was surprisingly progressive. He did not harbor animosity towards the Japanese, and he gets into why. Apparently, despite how badly he was beaten from time to time by members of the military and the guards and stuff, there were also Japanese personnel that were very fair to him, and some that were outright kind. So the world is nuanced. Also, the next book I'm going to start on, and it'll take me forever to finish it because it took me 2 weeks to read Baa Baa Black Sheep because I only usually read little sections at a time. I like to absorb it. It'll be Martin Middlebrook's The Schweinfurt-Regensburg Mission, which will probably get me motivated to start building these B-17s. You ever notice how what you build can be motivated not only by what you see on TV or in the movies, but what you read? And the next kit, since the table is clearing up, the X-13 is done, I've decided to go ahead and build the monogram flying sub, and there's a couple of reasons why. One of them has to do with work. Midnight tonight, I go on long call reserve for 3 days, and they could call me out, and I should get done Friday midnight with the reserve. If they don't use me, then I'll be, because it's long calls, it's a 14-hour call out, but you're on the clock 24 hours. That way, when they call you, you have plenty of time to get your rest period and travel. But so I may or may not get a chance to work on this, but I wanted something that I could set up in the kitchen since I'm set up to work there that would be a little larger, a little easier to work with. This looks like a pretty straightforward kit, at least I hope so. And also, somebody had made the point, after dealing with that X-13, you need to get yourself a snap tight or something like that. And I figure, this is a good solid monogram kit. It should not be a nightmare to work on. And I like the subject matter. Plus, as you guys know, as of midnight last night, we were on our way for the ship group build, or the watercraft group build. I don't know, ship, submarine, Wasserschlepper, canoe, amphicar, flying boat, whatever you want to build, as long as it's a watercraft. And this way I'll be guaranteed to have one of them done in time. I have other ones I want to, submarines and stuff I want to build. Actually, I'm planning to build mostly subs for it because after having worked on the pirate ship, I don't feel like tackling something like that again right now. I have decided to keep the pirate ship since, although my friend did get to see pictures of it done, sadly I never got to deliver it to him, but so now it is a very personal keepsake, and it will have a place of honor as long as I'm here. The paint rack has really come in handier than I expected. Not only do I have all the paints in there now, nicely organized with the cleansers, but there's also room for a lot of the books, so a lot of the reference material you folks sent me is there now where I can get to it more easily. It's not scattered all around. And of course, it's created a lot more working area. I still got to clean this place up, but I've got more shelf space now, and I'm going to be putting stuff around where I can just, you know, your work area is a constant state of organization and reorganization, and that's just the way it is. So that covers all of that. One quick note on photography I'd like to talk about very quickly. A few little bits and bobs of advice, and then I'll let you go for the evening. All right, class now. Steady, lads. Steady. When you send me a picture, the main thing There are really three things. And by the way, staggeringly good work, all of you guys. Give yourself a slow clap for the submissions for the group builds, for the Karmer builds. Just blown away by some of that stuff. I am not worthy. In true awe of some of the work I saw there. I hope you guys had a good time, because that's really what we're here for. What I want to help you with is a couple of guys had beautiful models that were maybe a skosh out of focus, or a little part was clipped off. I'd rather have you back up and photograph it and get this than this. And so back up a little bit. The videos are produced in a format of 16 across by 9 high, 16 by 9. So if your camera has that setting, that might, and you take them horizontal, the pictures horizontally, that might help a little bit. I know some things like rockets and stuff that are tall, you kind of have to take them erect. Also, lighting key. I use these, or before I bought the light box, I know only a few of you guys have light boxes, but a couple of these shop lamps, you know, put them back a few feet, depending on the wattage of your bulb. Maybe hang some translucent paper in front of it to work as a diffuser, and that really helps light it from two sides so stuff doesn't get buried in the shadows. If you don't have a big enough backdrop, you know, have a sizable model, when things are sticking out, a real easy thing to do, just go to a couch, throw a sheet over it, and that way you got the back and the bottom. Back off, take several pictures from slightly different angles, whatever you're happy with. You got to be careful things like handshake, you know, just wobbling your hand. If you have a tripod or something, that's great. All I'm saying is it's just that back up a little bit and get some good light on it, and try to get the whole thing in the frame if you can. And if you can have a backdrop like a poster board or a bed sheet or something that will allow the whole model and profile or whatever angle you want to photograph it from to be seen. Don't worry about getting in too close. As long as you're taking a decent high resolution photograph, I can zoom in with the computer. So I just hate it when you guys make these beautiful submissions and they're a little out of focus, and we're not able to appreciate the beautiful work that you put into it as richly as we might be able to. I know photography is a whole different thing. Some of you guys make the most fantastic models, but photography is a whole different science. A bunch of YouTube videos out there on how to set up a little in-house studio or whatever, or just ways to, and of course cell phone cameras do take largely pretty remarkable photographs these days. I also know some of you guys have bandwidth limitations on what you can send. But I just hate to see put all that work in the model and then just not have the best photograph you could take of it. That's all. And with that, class is dismissed. Guys, take care of yourselves. I hope you're doing well. And as always, model on. Look, Ma, no sleeves. That's why I live in Florida. I'm dressed like this 'cause I live in Florida. God, I'm being a jerk. Don't be a jerk.